Okay, so have you ever felt like you're capable of so much more, but just can't seem to reach that next level? Well, today we're diving deep into the world of someone who's been helping people unlock that potential for over 20 years. His name is Stryker Corbin. And we're talking about creating real, lasting change in your life, not just those temporary quick fixes.
It's interesting. What's really fascinating about Stryker is he's been doing this work for 24 years and combines hypnosis, coaching, and even motivational speaking.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about treating a symptom here or there. It's about going deeper, helping people really understand the root causes of their challenges and giving them the tools and techniques to actually create lasting change.
And it's not every day you come across someone who's a hypnotist, a success coach, A&D, a motivational speaker, all rolled into one.
Right.
That's a pretty powerful combination.
It is.
I mean, we did some digging, and he's been voted the best hypnotist on Long Island by LI press readers, no less.
Wow, that's impressive.
And he's also a former president of the New York City National Speakers Association. Oh, wow.
Which is a pretty big deal. I mean, in the world of motivation and success.
Yeah, it definitely speaks to his credibility.
It really does. And all of that background, I feel like, is really key here because it shows he understands what it takes to help people create real, lasting change, not just on that surface level, but like deep down.
Absolutely. And you know his book, it's called The Code, 49 Rules for Living a Happy Life. It dives into all of this. It's not just about techniques, it's
Yeah.
really a whole philosophy, a way of life that he's put together.
So it's more than just, putting someone in a trance and snapping your fingers and saying, you will now be confident or something like that.
Exactly. It's so much more than that. It's really about understanding how the conscious and subconscious minds work together, right?
Right.
How they interact and influence each other.
Okay.
So hypnosis can be a powerful tool to access those deeper parts of ourselves, like the subconscious. But it's the coaching and the motivational aspects that really help people integrate those changes into their everyday lives.
I see. So it's like a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
And he works with people, it seems, on a huge range of issues. I mean, his website mentions everything from quitting smoking and losing weight to overcoming fears and building confidence. Is there anything he doesn't help people with?
Right. It is pretty amazing. He really does seem to cover the gamut of personal challenges. And what I find particularly interesting is that no matter what the issue is, no matter what someone is coming to him for, his approach seems to be centered around this idea of self-love. It's like this foundation, this bedrock for real change.
I saw that on his website, too. He has this quote. It says, "The journey towards health begins on the path of self-love."
Mm.
What do you think he means by that?
Well, I think a lot of us, maybe even most of us, we struggle with self-doubt, negative self-talk, those inner critics that just won't quit. And that can really hold us back from achieving our goals, from living the life we want to live. And I think what Stryker is saying is that until we can learn to love and accept ourselves, truly love and accept ourselves, warts and all, it's going to be really difficult to make any kind of lasting change in any area of our lives. It's like we're trying to build a house on a foundation of sand, It's just not going to be stable.
So it's like you can't build a strong house on a shaky foundation.
Mm.
You need that solid base of self-love to support everything else.
Yes, that's such a great analogy.
And, it makes me think, what is it that sets Stryker apart from maybe a lot of other, coaches and therapists out there? I mean, I feel like what you're saying is it's not just about fixing the problem. It's like he's going deeper.
Absolutely. He's helping people develop a healthy, loving relationship with themselves.
Right.
And from that place of self-love, they can then tackle the challenges that they're facing and actually overcome them.
That's really interesting because a lot of times, in our society, we kind of try to fix the external things in our lives without maybe addressing the internal emotional stuff.
It's so true and so common. We might try to lose weight or get a promotion or buy a fancy car thinking that's what's going to make us happy.
Yeah.
But if we haven't addressed the underlying issues, the self-worth, the self-love, those changes might not be sustainable. We might achieve them, but then they don't really stick.
Makes you think, right? Like, what could we all achieve if we truly believed in ourselves and our potential? What would that world look like?
That is a powerful question, and I think that's exactly what Stryker is trying to help people discover.
Now, speaking of discovering, I have to ask about these testimonials on his website. I mean, some of these are pretty remarkable. There's one about a person who quit smoking after
Yeah.
3 packs a day, and another about someone who, gained incredible confidence after just 3 sessions with Stryker. Are these typical, or are these just, the most dramatic examples that he's cherry-picking?
Well, Well, it's important to remember that every individual is different and results will vary. But I think these testimonials really do speak to the power of his approach, right? Because he combines these different modalities, the hypnosis, the coaching, the motivational speaking, and when it's grounded in this philosophy of self-love, it can be a very, very potent mix.
It's almost like he's creating like a personal cheerleader for each of his clients, someone who believes in them, even when they don't believe in themselves, you
Yeah.
know?
Yes, that's a great way to put it because that kind of support, that unwavering belief in someone's potential can be incredibly empowering, especially when they're trying to make a big change in their life. And, one other thing that stood out to me from his website, he mentions working with celebrities and professional
Oh, hey,
athletes,
yeah, I saw that.
which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think people at that level would have access to, like, the best of the best.
You would think so, right? But they're still choosing to work with Stryker.
So, what do you think it is? Like, what is it about him that draws people in? Especially, people at that level who are already high achievers.
Well, I think aside from just, his obvious expertise, there's something about his approach that really seems to resonate with those high achievers.
Yeah.
Because these are people who are used to pushing themselves to their limits, right? But even they can benefit from someone who helps them connect with their inner strength and overcome those mental blocks that we all have.
It's like even when you're at the top of your game, there's always another level, right? You can still hit a wall and you need someone to help you sort of break through it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's what Stryker excels at, helping people tap into their full potential. And it doesn't matter what level they're at. And it's not just about achieving success in the traditional sense.
Okay.
It's about living a more fulfilling and meaningful life. It's about finding that true happiness and purpose. And that's something we can all strive for.
So it's not just about the external markers of success, like making more money or winning more games. It's about something deeper.
It is. It's something more intrinsic.
Now, I know that he offers different session options and things like that, but how exactly does someone work with him? Like, does he have a specific program or method that he uses?
That's a great question, and it leads us to another really interesting aspect of Stryker's work. It seems like he really tailors his approach to each individual client. There's no one-size-fits-all program, which I think is really cool.
Oh, so it's more like a bespoke suit than, an off-the-rack kind of deal.
Exactly. He really takes the time to understand each person's unique needs and goals, and then creates a plan that's specific to them.
So like no two sessions are the same.
Right, exactly. And he offers different session types and pricing, so you can book an initial session, which is a bit longer, to give, enough time to really dive deep into your specific goals and challenges. Or you can go for shorter follow-up sessions, and he also has a 3-session savings pack, which is a great deal for people who are committed to, really diving in and doing the work.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're really serious about making a change, it's not going to happen overnight.
No, definitely not.
It's like anything else worth achieving, you have to put in the time and the effort.
Absolutely. And that's another thing that I really appreciate about Stryker is that he doesn't promise quick fixes.
Yeah.
He's very upfront about the fact that real change, it requires commitment and work from the individual.
It's not a magic wand.
It's not a magic wand, exactly. But speaking of making it easier for people to work with him, I'm curious, not everyone can just hop on a plane and fly to Long Island.
Right.
Does he offer any kind of remote sessions?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. He offers both telephone and Zoom sessions.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can still work with him.
That's so great because that really opens it up to a much wider audience.
It does. I mean, whether you're a busy executive or a stay-at-home parent, or even a celebrity trying to keep things low-key, you can still benefit from his expertise.
Exactly. And you know what else I noticed on his website is that he offers gift certificates.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah, that's a very unique gift idea.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect for someone who, is maybe going through a tough time or looking to make a positive change in their life.
Exactly. It's like you're giving them the gift of self-discovery and empowerment.
Yeah, and it makes me think back to, his quote about self-love being the foundation for health. And it just seems like so much of his work is really about helping people create that foundation, that inner strength to, really build upon.
I think you're spot on. It's like he's helping people build a more solid sense of self, a stronger core to navigate life's challenges from.
Right, and maybe that's why he's been so successful for so long, because he's not just addressing the symptoms, He's helping people heal on a much deeper level.
Exactly. He's going to the root of the issue, not just putting a Band-Aid on it. And when you heal at that level, the changes are much more likely to stick.
It makes you wonder, what if we all had that kind of inner strength and self-beliefs? What could we accomplish as individuals, as a society?
It's an incredible thought. And, I think that's really what Stryker's inviting us to explore, this possibility of living a more fulfilling and empowered life. But, before we go too far down the rabbit hole of existential pondering, let's bring it back down to earth for a moment.
Okay.
What are some of the key takeaways that our listeners should remember about Stryker Corbin and his work?
I think one of the biggest takeaways is that Stryker Corbin really is not your average hypnotist. I mean, he's been doing this for over 20 years, helping people make some pretty significant changes in their lives. And he's not just using one technique. He's got this really interesting blend of skills that he brings to the table: hypnosis, success coaching, and motivational speaking.
Right. It's not just about putting you in a trance and making suggestions. It's about working with you on multiple levels, understanding your goals, and helping you develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your potential.
And it seems like a huge part of his approach is that emphasis on self-love. Like, that's the foundation for everything else he does.
Yeah, it's like he's saying you can't really build a strong, happy, successful life if you don't have a solid foundation of self-love and acceptance.
It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. And I think that's such an important message, especially in today's world where we're constantly bombarded with messages that tell us we're not good enough, not thin enough, not rich enough, all of that.
Totally. And for people who are ready to, take that next step and explore this further, he offers a lot of different ways to work with him.
He does. You can book individual sessions. There's also the 3-session savings pack, which is a great option if you're really committed to diving deep. And he also does those remote sessions via telephone or Zoom, so you don't even have to be on Long Island to work with him.
That's so great that he's made it so accessible. And if you're still on the fence about whether or not this is for you, I highly recommend checking out the testimonials on his website.
Yes, definitely. Those testimonials are really powerful. You can see how his approach has helped real people make real changes in their lives, whether it's quitting smoking, overcoming fears, finding more confidence, or just creating a more fulfilling life overall.
So the final question for our listeners today is, what area of your life could use a little boost of self-love and maybe a little Stryker Corbin magic?
Yeah, think about it. What's one thing you've been wanting to change or achieve? Maybe it's finally kicking that bad habit, going after that dream job, or simply learning to treat yourself with more kindness and compassion.
Wherever it is, just remember this: you have the power within you to create the life you want, and sometimes all it takes is a little guidance and support to help you unlock that potential.
And who knows, maybe Stryker Corbin is the person to help you do just that.
Well said. So if you're intrigued by what you've heard today, we encourage you to learn more about Stryker Corbin. You never know, it could be the start of an incredible journey of transformation. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep striving to become the best version of yourself.